The Adjustment Bureau, Mad Men with science fiction? Not quite.
You can't outrun your fate.
I don't care what you put in my way, I'm not giving up.
We tried to reason with you.
The Adjustment Bureau.
David Norris is a US senator or governor running for office who eventually has a chance encounter with Emily Blunt's Elise. If there's a chance encounter, they kiss, it's quite romantic, he wants to see her again. It's not for quite a few months that he eventually does meet her on a bus. What he doesn't know is that the Adjustment Bureau are after him, trying to make sure that he follows the plan. And what eventually happens is that even though with all these rules that begin to happen, he goes against them and tries to be with Elise. If that plot synopsis was kind of hard to follow, it can be down to two things. One, me, because it's right out of my head. And two, because of the film itself. And I think that's why I kind of like The Adjustment Bureau. It's a film that says to its audience, hey, you've got intelligence, you've got intellect, use it for this time. This is a Hollywood thriller with a brain apparently, and it doesn't become some overblown effects jargon, or it also doesn't become an overbearing intellect film. It's kind of like the best of both worlds, this rare film where it becomes an effects driven sci-fi film at times by also staying its roots with its brains, its intellects, its ideas, and it also just becomes a really enjoyable sort of sci-fi action thriller, which is actually quite a miracle in a strange way. And this is based around a Philip K. Dick novel. Actually, it's a short story called The Adjustment Team, and because of that, it will have heavy themes. It has this time about fate, whether it's predetermined path or free will. I don't think that The Adjustment Bureau probably ranks up with the best of Philip K. Dick's adaptations, but when it does work, it does get you thinking, but it does not match up with Blade Runner, and it will not match up with The Minority Report, and it definitely will not match up with Richard Linklater's highly underrated Scanner Darkly. But what it does really work as is sort of that film that everyone has been telling me about, that it's Inception for the romantics. And that can be down to two very strong points about The Adjustment Bureau. It's Nolfi's script and Emily Blunt and Matt Damon. It also becomes a romance film, and with that you have to have strong leads to make this feel very natural. And by the end, with Matt Damon and Emily Blunt's performance, you kind of want these guys to be together.
To do with anything. Your path through the world is supposed to have been adjusted. You weren't ever supposed to see her again.
So any film where you're rooting for the leads to be together in a romance film, which isn't actually a rom-com, this is not No Strings Attached, then that's a pretty strong point. But I think the best thing and the strongest point to the entire thing that Nolfi does is that he is able to make this story really unpredictable. Now I know in any romance film, and this is no exception for The Adjustment Bureau, is that these guys are going to be together at the end. But it's the way he makes everything so unpredictable, even though you know that there's going to be a predetermined path for these guys and a predetermined film, that you know they'll be together. But it becomes how. How are they going to get together? Why can't they be together? And with them making this an unpredictable love story and an unpredictable mystery, even though you know what's going to happen, and it keeps you watching and it keeps you gripped, that's oddly a miracle about a Hollywood film that's able to do that. Half the time, I'm sitting there, even if I know what's going to happen, and I'm still gripped.
Just walk away. If you stay with her, it not only kills your dreams, it kills hers.
But the miracle kind of does quickly stop. You watch The Adjustment Bureau and it quickly becomes kind of convoluted. Every time a question is brought up, an answer quickly comes after it to try and explain itself, almost trying to excuse itself, instead of creating a really intelligent mystery with, ambiguous plots. Instead, we're kind of given halfway through all the answers really quickly. Because everything is answered, you quickly get taken out of the film. So once that mystery stops of it turning into sort of a sci-fi thriller and going all supernatural and almost alien, that plot between Matt Damon and Emily Blunt still works. But I still think that this is kind of by the numbers filmmaking. It becomes more of a studio production instead of a director's pet project. There's no trippy going up on the walls of Inception or any of that. And while I don't like Inception, this is the reason why I kind of like The Adjustment Bureau more and think it's a superior film, because it has everything that Inception kind of lacked. It has that sense of intimacy, it has that connection between the two leads who we're trying to sort of root for. And by the end, once all the answers are revealed, it's kind of a cop-out. If you think about it, the Adjustment Bureau say to Matt Damon that the reason why Emily Blunt and them can't be together is because it's part of a plan. That's it. They don't really know why. And by the end, the reason why they can be together is beyond an anticlimax. I still think that the originality of the film, the writing, almost the directing, the vision for this film, it could have been a better film. But for what it is, and what it is a sci-fi thriller with some intellect to it, with a romantic plot, and almost bringing nearly so close to bringing all that to work, is quite an achievement for a first-time director. I also do written reviews, the link is right there, and I have a rather long review of The Adjustment Bureau which I wrote, and you've also have other reviews along with Rango, which comes on Sunday on that little blogger website that I do.